In today's video, we are taking a look at the new GPT-4 model of ChatGPT. So, if you have ChatGPT Plus, then you will have in the model selection GPT-4. And this is supposed to be this mind-blowingly good AI model. So let's put it to the test and try to build something. So in today's video, I would like to try to build a spreadsheet for grading a math test. And in fact, I want to create a math test in Excel, and then I want to have a cell for each of the questions where you can put in the amount of points the student got for that question. And then I want to have a total points calculation and then a grade calculation. So like A, B, C, D or F. Now, I come from a country where we use numbers instead of letters for grades, but maybe letters will be more complicated, so we can put ChatGPT to the test. So let's start with the obvious. Let's tell ChatGPT what we want to do. I want to create a math test in Excel. The test will have 10 questions. Let's add some more context. A math test for 5th grade students. The test will have 10 questions. Every question should have a cell for points. Every question will get 0 to 5 points. In the end, the total points should be calculated. Also, the maximum possible points should be calculated. Then, from these numbers, a grade should be calculated. A, B, C, D, or F. Is that how it works? Is there an E? I've never heard anybody get an E. I want you to create this math test, including the questions and the formulas for calculating the points and grades. Also add styling to the spreadsheet so that the question is in bold and the answer is not. The cell for the points of each question should have a yellow background. There should also be a place in the top left corner for the name of the student. All right. I think that is the largest prompt I have ever given. Now, obviously, it's not going to be able to do this because I want an actual XLS file. But let's see what it answers with. I am an AI text-based model, so I am unable to create an actual Excel file for you. However, I can guide you through the process of setting up the Excel file and provide you with math questions, formulas, and formatting instructions. Okay, so it actually shows the cell where we need to put and what text. And then it adds some questions. What is 36 divided by 4? Calculate the area of a rectangle with a length of 7 units and a width of 5 units. Simplify the fraction. Solve the equation. Okay, well, we have nice math questions here. Create a column for the points earned for each question. In column B, add a cell for points next to each question, B4 to B13. Set the cell background to yellow. In B14, calculate the total points earned using the sum function. And here we have the formula. In B15, calculate the maximum possible points. Okay. And calculate the grade in B16. So we'll do this. Okay. Add styling to the spreadsheet. Make the text in cells A4 to A13 bold to highlight the questions. Keep the text in column B regular to indicate the answer section. Optionally, you can adjust the width of columns and the height of rows for better visibility. Okay, well, we have instructions, but I really don't want to go into Excel and type all this in. But ChatGPT, of course, knows programming. So what if we say, can you write a PHP code for me that would create an XLS file of that math test? Here's a PHP code using the PHP spreadsheet library to create an XLS file for the math test. First, make sure to install PHP spreadsheet using Composer. Then you can use the following PHP code to create the XLS file. So we are setting student name and adding the math questions. Now, this is going to be a pretty long piece of code. So let's see if it will actually do all of it. Some people have been saying that GPT-4 can write more stuff, but then others say that still the same, it stops halfway through. All right, so now we are going through the questions, and we are setting them bold, and then we are saving the spreadsheet. Now, this will create the questions, but not all the formulas. Okay, so we got a pretty comprehensive answer here, but it didn't do the whole thing. So let's say, please modify the code so that it also adds the calculations for the total points and the grading. Alright, now it is actually calculating the total points and the maximum points and then adding the grade calculation. And then we are saving it to an XLSX file. Alright, this code will create an XLSX file named math_test.xlsx containing the math test with the calculations for the total points and grading. The formulas will be placed in cells B14, B15 and B16 as specified in your original request. Alright, let's see if this actually works. Now, obviously you have to know a little bit about coding to make this work. But let's see, let's open VS Code and let's create here math_test.php and I will paste this code here. And then I will have to run from the terminal this command. So let's do that. Okay, that is done. So now if I say php math_test.php and I run this, it created a math_test.xlsx. So let's open this and see what is in here. Okay, well, it doesn't look very beautiful, but that is because it did not change the widths of the columns. So let's make this a bit longer. So now it looks a bit better. What is 36 divided by 4? And then here we can add the points. So if we add 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Now we have a D. And then we get a C and B and an A. Okay, so it does work. Now I wanted to have some empty rows under these questions so that this could be actually used to input the questions. So let's see if we can make it do those changes. Great, it worked first try. Can you change it so that there will be 4 empty rows for inputting the answer to the questions below each question? Also, can you make the question column wider? Or actually, we should have the question on its own row. Can you make the question be on its own row so that the points box doesn't overlap with it? Certainly. Here is the modified PHP code that adds 4 empty rows for inputting the answer to each question and puts the question on its own row. Alright, and here we have the new code for the math test. So let's see if this works. Let's create a new file, math_test2, and paste this in here and run php math_test2. And we actually replaced the old one. So let me quit this and let's open it again. What? Well, that is a failure. Where are my questions? I don't have questions. I have points and they don't actually even work. What happened here? Let's take a look at this code. Set cell value A current row. Questions index I. Okay, I can see its mistake. It is adding the empty rows, but it is still using the current row here. But it is incrementing the current row, but it is incrementing it after it replaces the first row with an empty value. So this should be on the top. So if I change the code and I move this up here and I run it again and I open it again, then now we have the questions here. Now it looks still a bit funny and I think this didn't actually work. Oh, now it's working, okay. No, it is not working. It's not adding the points. Okay, so that's it for GPT-4. It's not replacing our jobs anytime soon. Now, I did recently make an app that creates spreadsheets using the Text DaVinci 003 model from OpenAI. Let's see how that handles the same prompt. So if I copy the whole thing and I go to my prompt to xls.com and I paste it in here and I click download XLS and then I wait for a while. Let's see if this can do it. Probably not. Alright, we have some kind of XLS file. Let's see what it includes. Okay, question 1, question 2, question 3. So we did not get the actual questions. And it's kind of weird because they are on the same row. But we do have an A here because all the points are 5 at the moment. So if I change these, now we have a B and now we have a C. So it is working, but we didn't get the questions. Let's try one more time. Let's do a bit of a tweak here. The questions should be aligned vertically, and there should be 4 empty rows after each question. And I will add, fill in the questions with 5th grade math test questions. And let's try this again, if it will do it better. Alright, and we have an XLS file, and let's open it. And now it doesn't work. Okay, we have 2 questions here. A bus travels 10 miles in 20 minutes. What is the speed of the bus in miles per hour? And we have some random numbers here. Okay, so this one doesn't work that well either. I wonder what would happen if I updated this to use the GPT-4 API, which is not available yet. But let me try another thing with GPT-4. Writing this PHP code every time to build an XLS file is kind of wasteful because there's all these worksheet, set cell value, and get active sheet, and all this kind of stuff. So what if we told GPT-4 to create a format that can easily be converted into an XLSX file? So let's actually start a new chat. But first I will copy my prompt here and make sure to select GPT-4. And then after this I will say, I know you can't create spreadsheets directly. So let's create our own syntax for styled spreadsheets with formulas that can easily be converted into an XLS file programmatically. It could be similar to XML or CSV, but have some sort of syntax for styling and adding formulas. Please create this spreadsheet format and create the spreadsheet I described with it. Here is a simple text-based spreadsheet format to represent your 5th grade math test. It uses a CSV-like syntax with additional tags for styling, formulas, and cell attributes. Okay, so we have a student name and style is bold. Okay, so it adds these square brackets and then that will set what style the given cell is going to be. And here we have a background yellow. Now I should have updated my prompt to tell it to add the empty rows, but I forgot. Alright, and then it set these formulas here as well in the same kind of syntax. You can now convert this text-based spreadsheet format into an actual Excel file using a custom parser. The parser would read the styling, formulas, and cell attributes from the text file and apply them to the corresponding cells in an Excel workbook. Please create that parser in PHP. Here is a PHP script that can parse the text-based spreadsheet format and create an Excel file using the PHP spreadsheet library. Now, this is in fact pretty similar to how I created this prompt to XLS application, but I used a different kind of a format than this modified CSV. I did try this at first, but then there were some problems with it. So what is this doing? It is looping through all of the rows and then splitting them with the comma. And then for each of the columns, it gets the cell by column and row index. Oh, that is interesting. I didn't know that this, so when I wrote my code, I had to generate the letters from the index. And then we get all of the stuff that is inside those square brackets. And then we split the parts with a semicolon. And then if the first part is style, then we set the style. If the first part is formula, we set the formula. And if it's BG, we set the background color. And then we remove all the styling and formula syntax from the cell, and then we save the value in the cell. And then we read the contents of a spreadsheet from a file, and then we parse the content, and then we create the XLS from that. Okay, let's see if this actually works. So I will copy this code, and I will create a new one, and I will save this as CSV parser. And I will create a new file here called CSV spreadsheet. And I will copy this code and paste it in here. And I guess I have to remove these comments from here. I did not see it parse the comments in this code. And I have to change this to CSV spreadsheet.csv. And this function is actually deprecated, but let's see if it still works. So let's do PHP CSV parser. And we get an error. Unexpected operator equals. Now, I did notice this as it was writing it, that in the CSV, it added the equals sign here. But then here it also adds the equals. So let's fix that and try again. No errors. And we got a file here, math test 5th grade. Let's open this. And okay, it almost worked. There's a couple of problems. First of all, this says just formula. And the reason for this is that there is a comma in this formula, but comma is also the field separator. So how about the points? Does it add something up somewhere? Yes, total points and maximum points. Okay, so it's pretty close actually. We just have to fix this problem and have it add the new empty lines for the answers. So let's do that. There are a couple of problems with the code. First of all, you are adding an equals sign to the formulas when they actually have it already in the CSV file. Secondly, you are using commas in the formulas, and the CSV separator is also a comma. So this causes obvious problems. Can you fix this in the code? Apologies for the issues. I have made the necessary adjustments to the code below. I have replaced the commas with semicolons in the formulas within the text-based spreadsheet format. This should resolve the issues you mentioned. Can you use semicolon? I know you can, for example, if the settings of the spreadsheet application have set comma to be the decimal separator, then you have to use semicolon. But if you don't use comma as the decimal separator, then can you still use it? I think better would be to use the pipe symbol here to separate the cells. And it fixed this, and now it's creating the content again here. Okay, but now it stopped short. So let me just copy this code, which actually is just the code that I fixed already. And let's put it in here. And actually, this is not the finished code. We need this part as well. So in fact, let me do this. I will change this to a pipe, and then I will change all of these to a pipe. But inside the formulas, I will change them to a comma. And I will run this again. And I will open it. And now it works. Now we have the correct formula in here, except it takes the points from the wrong cell. So these should actually be over here. And then if I add something here, then it is not actually working because the formula is the wrong way. I should put this here and then 50 as the maximum points. Then now if I put zeros here, then now it works. We are changing the grade. So now we have F, now we have D, C, B, and A. Okay, well, I would give GPT-4 a B- for the effort, but it is by no means this amazing AI that will replace all programmers and teachers. But still, it did a pretty good job. But I'm not sure if it did any better than the GPT 3.5. Thanks. I'll give you a B- for the effort. Thank you for your feedback. I apologize for any issues or confusion in my previous responses. If you have any further questions or need additional assistance, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm here to help. And this is the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.